up some mugs. See the chat. You're kidding me. Dang it. Turn off the dang green screen. Oh, I'm having trouble. I can't turn that green screen off. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Push his button. But how do I turn it off? It's so ridiculous. I don't know how to turn it off. It's right there. I'm never touching that again. I am so sorry. I had no idea how to fix that. Oh well. I'm learning. Slow. Thank you. Yes. Yes, put tape over the buttons. Then it won't turn green. Oh well. Sorry about that. Got me all sweaty too. I know that I don't know much, so I don't want to make any mistakes. Yep, gonna trim some mugs and put some handles on. Wendy and I are gonna go on a trip, so I'll be out of the studio for a couple of weeks. So I got to get these things done today. Man, you're so nice. Doesn't bother me. Honestly, I'm sorry it happened. Yeah, I'm doing really good. I'm gonna trim some mugs. Position 2. Those mugs. Got like 22 of them. I spent all day yesterday mixing up glazes and batching out some crystal recipes that I'm working on. It's amazing to me how long it takes just to mix glaze. But how are you doing today, Mandy? Anything interesting going on? It is raining here, off and on, which is unusual for us here in Southern California. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that, Leah. I could not figure out how to turn off that green screen. It will be, more YouTube watching later for me to learn those things. Actually, I was watching Cup of Joel the other day, and he mentioned, and that's why I have the vertical stream going. He said that that was a really good way to stream and to kind of keep it simple, keep it active. A little thin. Yeah. Just Oh, thank you, Mandy. Hope you're having a wonderful trip. I'm craving a trip myself, but my mom has been busy with work, so she can't take a vacation. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, burnout? I can relate to that. What is it that's got you burned out? Work or I don't know. Sometimes I can find myself getting in a rut. Just need to get out and do something. Get the adrenaline going. Ah, welcome back. Leah's back. Back again. usually have a little mirror down there, but it was blocking the camera. So I'll just lean over for these. So I make these foot rims because they make such great handles. I was working with some pots that I made, like I was washing them last year, and they're just a lot harder to hold on to. They don't have as much of a pronounced foot rim compared to these new ones that I'm making, which, oh, they're so easy to hold on to. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how a foot rim should be to me. Mandy said, so my thing is that I'm a bit mentally challenged. Me too. So still living with my parents at 25. That's okay. Being on my own would be a death sentence. My mom works from home, dad is disabled, and I contribute. That's amazing. Housekeeping, cooking while my dad works, look for recipes for me and helps me when I need it. Guess I'm in a rut and tired of working the same routine. Mandy, I can relate to that completely. But I also don't think it's bad that at 25 you're still living at home. I think a lot of people, especially after pandemic, when kind of like prices went up and it's just a lot harder to have a go on your own. I know my nephew, he's a little younger than you, he's like 23, but it's kind of the same thing, having a hard time getting out. And I just don't think it's bad. I think it's fine. I'm sure your parents actually really appreciate having you around helping out. The rut, though, right? You know, it's like, how do we get ourselves out of a rut? We need to do things that we weren't doing before, something new to engage the brain. I mean, in my experience, I don't really know. I'm not an expert in any way. Mandy, what are some things that you love to do? How did you get out of that rut? A little swirl there I did not intend. Chair. More here. I'm over trimming. Yeah, I like to put the cups on a little bowl like this because it holds the mouth round. One of the disappointments that I run into making cups and mugs is that they'll get a little squished. And it's just annoying when you're using a mug and you expect it to be round and it's not. Thank you for saying that, Leah. I will tell you the honest truth is that if you ever ask me, or if I ever have to do math, it's mandatory calculator. And I have a terrible memory. I can't remember things that other people can remember. In fact, I've been thinking about, I don't know why, but I've been just having in my mind like what it would be like to write a book I don't know, that's such a weird thing to say, but like, it would be something about the title would be like inside of the mind of an idiot or something like that, where I recognize that my brain just doesn't work like the people around me. I can't remember things, I have to write things down, and it sucks. Uh, but it, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just the way that I am. And so I wonder if other people might be curious about my experience in this way where, like I had to do the fourth grade 2 times. I didn't graduate high school till I was 19. Not for lack of trying. It didn't stop me. It just meant that I had to, I think, work a bit harder. Still went on, got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. But I did end up teaching high school pottery, which is not where all the scientists and mathematicians go. Man, he said, I just love gaming, going out into the flea markets, taking photos and printing them out for my portfolio. Yes, I would love to see your portfolio. I also love gaming. What game are you working on right now? I've been working on Destiny 2. I know I'm late to the game on that, but just never got around to playing it, so that's what I am doing now. Like I said, for 2 years, people who are not different in those same ways live at home until they're 40 plus. So that shouldn't be something you feel bad about, totally. Especially since you contribute. A lot of them don't. Yeah, I think a lot of people who live at home end up feeling like the burden that they're putting on people instead of like turning it around, right? And becoming a contributing member. Which is so valuable. I mean, my neighbor and good friend, um, she is back at home. She lived her whole life and was married, and then when she was 60, her husband died, and so now she lives right next door with her daughter and her husband, or her daughter's husband, and their little young girl. She's how old is Avery? I think she's 10. She might be 9. But they so value her contributions, being at home and picking up Avery from school and cooking and her math skills are less than impressive. Yeah, that's nice to know. Yeah. I mean, it feels good to know other people are struggling with math as well. I don't know why. I guess misery loves company. But because I worked serving for so long, I can count back change like a pro. Yeah, it's funny how we get just better at the things that we're doing all the time. Honestly, I never would have thought I could have learned, like, for example, the periodic table. I mean, I don't know it. I just know parts of it. But I have done that in the past 2 years because of how important it is to glaze chemistry. And I only learned any of that because when I got here from Washington, I completely failed with the glazes that I brought with me. So I had to completely start over. Yeah, Leah, I'm not sure. I know I have some overdone strengths, which might point one way or another. Definitely I'm a person who tries way too hard. Just reading, Mandy, your diagnosis. Diagnosis is so hard. I can guarantee I have ADHD. But my mom, when I was just a kid, was like super against giving in to labeling and medication, and so she was like, "There's a hard work, believer of like hard work." And I'm not saying it's the right way to go. I'm just saying it was a struggle, you know. What even is a low IQ? What does that even mean? All of our intelligences are just wound up in different ways, you know. I mean, I've been studying Spanish 10 minutes a day for 1,985 days. Humble flex. But I can't speak Spanish. I'm terrible at it. No kidding. Testing, just in general, not made for people like us. All people. Unless you're really good at tests. I've always thought about modern school, like, modern school should be different. Like, there should be multiple paths for people to take. You know, people like me who maybe college, I'm really glad that I went, and it was super important to my mom. But I wasn't cut out for books and learning. And I went to a liberal college, and they like made a space for me, but it wasn't inside of a book. Anyway, I've always just kind of thought like school in general could be more open to people with different abilities. And we could do more like building of things. You know, if you're not going to go to college, you can identify that pretty early. Then, I don't know, what about going to like a middle school that they specialize in boat building? You know, you learn to build a boat, then you go and sail the boat. That would be amazing. Instead, I dropped out of geometry in 7th grade. Had to try that again in 8th grade. Barely got through it. Had to get a tutor. It was not fun. Funny, I was diagnosed first in 4th, 5th. Yeah. Teacher said I'm not keeping up like I should. Dad did that. How dare you say that my kid is slow, and rightfully so. Yeah, absolutely. 3rd and 4th grade though is the time where you really start to notice like your strengths and weaknesses. And that's why I think instead of like saying there's something wrong with a person, that we should look for what they're good at and connect them to that. Because there's something wrong with every single person. Just because I'm not good at math doesn't mean I'm not good at other things, you know? I mean, look at you, Mandy, you know, like you got excellent hand-eye coordination, obviously, from gaming. You have learned how to be a photographer. You have skills. Just might not be easy to measure in a freaking Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. Making mugs? Mugs are my favorite thing to make. Some of these I've tried uneven. Here's a good one. I missed something. Still a taboo time for the diagnosis. And then Leah said, well, IQ equals intelligence quota, but the normal IQ test seen for things like math skills, reading comprehension, etc. Same things the tests in school screen for, but it's not set up for neurospices. And Mandy said, and the psychiatrist recommended me to be medicated. Dad didn't want me drugged at a young age. I went through my high school time without it and had the most terrible time, to put it simply. Oh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But I'm super grateful, Mandy, that you're, sharing your experience, because you're not alone, and we're here. We care. That there's school's just such a small space in the actual world. So many things that we can all do. Leah said, I'd be very interested to see how you'd score on the Baron Hugo, I think it's called. I'll look it up when I can. It's a test a severely autistic and ADHD psychologist created. I scored 145 on that one. Mandy said, oh, please find that for me. I would love to take that test. It's almost like sometimes if you don't fit into the school setting, like almost every report card I had in elementary school said Joshua's chair seems to move around the room on its own. You know what I mean? So if you don't fit into the normal setting and you're struggling to just be there, just to sit there, of course you're gonna feel out of place. So I think as a society, as a community, we should search for ways to provide learning opportunity for people who aren't going to be, STEM people, scientists, technology, engineering, and math people. Like I said, I'm trying not to challenge something you've been told your whole life or anything. But it's easier for them to say you have this than to find a better way to teach you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes it feels like school is it's built for the ideal. And there's not space for people to explore and be engaged in learning that's outside of math, science. I mean, they have an art class, but it's still sitting in a desk doing something. Mandy said, Leah said, sorry, back a little further. Leah said, quite frankly, it astounds me that we still test all people the same for IQ. Absolutely ridiculous when we learn how different our brains are person to person. Yes, our brains are different person to person. What kind of brain do you have? Wish I knew. What options are there? How cool would it be if you went to a party or a gathering and in addition to people's names, it had some kind of indicator about what kind of a brain type they have, Don't ask me about sciencey stuff, but definitely ask me about creativity. Like I said, same. At least one, at least boys had the ADHD diagnosis back when I was growing up. All the research was done for boys. Wow, I did not know that. So girls for years were just thought to be deficient somehow, like behaviorally. That's ridiculous. Like, oh, it's okay. He's ADHD, but what's wrong with her? Well, she's got issues. Yeah, I think a lot of like diagnosis research and technique in schools is like getting kids back to normal. That we're like trying to fix something in everybody. When I think if we would just be honest, and say like what's going on, and then provide opportunity for people where they are, I think we might be all better for it. Like we're not trying to get you back to being like no one's going to get me into the sciences. I was so disillusioned about my abilities that when I went to college, at first I went in, I thought I was going to be a physician's assistant, that I could like actually do medical work. And it was so apparent, like in my first class, that I just did not have the ability to memorize physiology, all the origins and insertions of the body and where the muscles connect, all those things like that are just basic, knowledge that you have to have as a medical professional. It was impossible for me to learn. I was studying endlessly and I barely got a C+ out of the course. And the professor called me into her office at the end and she like said, "Hey, you gotta find a different career." And I think that was one of the first people ever in my life who did that for me, like sat me down and told me the truth. I was like 19 or 20. I was 20. It's the end of freshman year. Maybe people did it before, but I just didn't remember. Suddenly it went downhill from then, just a major downhill slope. I've never heard a story like that. Another thing to research. I say all that because my major was psychology with a minor in sociology. Wow! Leah, well, it really shows you have the ability to really cut through the bullshit. That it just blows me away that so quickly you've like been able to analyze, diagnose, and then offer advice. And it is so on point. I definitely feel helped by you. Hmm. Yeah, I love that, Mandy. You said, absolutely, I'm an open book, especially if it helps folks like me feel less alone. Yeah, feeling alone is the worst. It's like one of the best parts of programs like this, where we can just get together and in a really small way have community, where it just feels closer. Like I know we don't live close, but it's like not a requirement now because of YouTube to feel close to other people. It's nice. I love it. I mean, it can be really lonely sitting here in the garage, throwing in trimming mugs all day long. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's a different view, Leah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, an alternative view. An alternate view, not alternative, alternate. It takes a lot to be somebody like you, Leah, to provide alternate views because I think in general, at least in my experience when I was teaching school, it's like a lot of group thing. And if you thought differently, if you suggested differently from what was like the current acceptable thinking, or if your thinking was like too old school, like you've been around too long and you're still using older thought processes, you were, I don't know, like called out and questioned. Like you couldn't have a divergent view. And, the area where I used to live is super liberal, so it doesn't surprise me now that I'm outside of it and can have my own thoughts. But back then, I was just trying to not get noticed. Yeah, that's a cool hug emoji, Leah. I like that. Mandy said, yeah, I caught on to that too. Diagnosing can lead to a lots of feelings. They can be fantastic and validating, or they can be very harrowing. Is that the word? And become a mental spiral. Yes, right? It's like if somebody says you have ADHD and you start Googling ADHD, then all those things about ADHD like might be true about you. And I don't know. I agree with you. It might be like a dangerous path to go down. Your dad sounds like a great guy, though, Mandy. Sticking up for you and making tough choices, doing his best. Scary, yeah. It kind of blows my mind, this pottery group. So approachable and nice and genuine. I kind of thought YouTube was going to be full of like wannabes and big shots, but that has not been the experience at all. It's humbling, What setting I have on the vertical, if there's something going on there. I only see Leah's comments. I wonder if other people aren't allowed to comment. Is there anybody in the vertical who can try to put a chat comment in? See if I have some setting that's wrong. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. It's a little bit dull. It looks like something turned off. I'll work on it. Don't ruin it. It feels heavy. Right there. On the bottom. Okay. can tell a lot about a pot by tapping on it. It'll still try to trick you, but you can just hear as it gets thinner. I always push on it a little bit to feel it give a bit, which of course is different for every different clay body, but switch just to this one clay body, this B mix. I like it. Yes, Leah, thank you for writing that. But I don't know why. I mean, people are welcome to lurk, no doubt. But I wonder if in the setting or something I have like subscribers only for the chat or something unknowingly, not deliberately. And said he absolutely is. My dad, he is the best person I know. My dad and birth mom divorced at 2. Mom didn't want to be a mom and was a terrible person. Haven't talked to her since. She died a couple years ago. Guess I feel like sad and happy about that at the same time. Partially because I actually live like an hour's drive from my real father. But I haven't talked to him since I was like 20 something, 24. It's just been on my mind recently, like, how do I get in touch with that guy? I actually don't know specifically where he lives. And I tried reaching out, like I looked it up on just like a kind of a Google search, like white pages. And I reached out, but I didn't hear back. So I don't want to like force it if he's like not interested, but I don't want anything from him, but I would like to kind of look him in the eye and see what I'm going to look like. Also feel like I need to apologize because, you know, he used to try to reach out to me and when I was younger, and just there's no other real easy way to say it, but I just wasn't nice. I wasn't nice to him. Just didn't think that I wanted to know him, I guess. But now that I'm like late 40s, I definitely would be interested to hear like his story. And he said, my dad is the one person I can depend on. I believe he is my soulmate, my platonic soulmate. We just understand one another on a deeper level. That makes sense. I mean, he's known you since before you knew yourself. And as a person who is, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, you're in tune. You know, you're like paying attention, you're listening. I bet you'll find lots of people that you can be in tune with in that way. People who listen to other people who listen. You hear each other well. But gosh, I love that. I love that you have a person that you're connected to in that way. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Leah. That is very helpful. the Faithfully song by Journey. Right down the line, it's been me and you. Dad used to sing it to me when he was going through the divorce with her. I want to get it tattooed. Oh, I love that. Seems like a nice tattoo. I I have several tattoos, and the last one I got, was to cover up 2 tattoos that I got. That just needed to be covered up.
This year, Taco Bell is making fans the stars of their big game ad, not celebrities.
Wait, is that Doja Cat?
For the last time, no famous
I think I
people.
can.
This isn't over.
So if you took a photo at one of our
What's
drive-through cams, you
this?
could be in our big game ad.
Olay Hyaluronic for visibly nourished skin. Discover yours.
I don't have producer Nick. Let's see if that works. No. Oh no. Lee said, "Oh my God, I just burnt my entire hand trying to make ramen because I'm a brat and like it on the stove. What a day. I need a nap." Dang it! She said, "I'm okay though, just feeling like a calcitrant child at this point, LOL." I mean, ramen is delicious. And on the stove, I think it probably is best. Gosh, that is the worst when you get a burn. It hurts, but you're not like even close to done suffering. It's gonna hurt worse for a long time. I like the look of it, but just get some thicker skin there. Cheat a little bit. I like profile on the outside, but the inside has a little bit of a lump down there. And I normally would say, don't turn that part like this, but this is a safe place. Get out of there. Making progress. These are the ones that I have finished. I'm feeling around for some leather hard. Sounds pretty good. Oh, I love that. And he said that she has a tattoo, a minimalist design of 3 bears: honey bear, baby bear, and derpy bear. It's an old version of my last name. That is bearing. Oh, that's cool. I'd like to see that. Yeah. Ooh, I can relate to the suffering of being burned. I always have like a ongoing fear of something happening to my hands. Like if I fell off my bicycle or something and injured my hand. I need both of them all the time to do what I'm doing. a lot of people are that way, but I just have a fear of it. I actually have this weird thing ever since I was a kid. Whenever I'm in like social environments, even sometimes when I'm driving, my hands just sweat. It's the worst. And so I've taken to just wearing gloves like all the time, but not on the wheel. I don't know why. I don't feel nervous on the wheel. I don't feel nervous in front of all you. But oh man, yeah, in social situations, it just got to be too terrible because I was like afraid to shake someone's hand. But then once I started wearing gloves, I could shake someone's hand, and then I could just like explain it like, well, I figure a gloved hand is better than a sweaty hand, and I think most people would agree. If you have to shake someone's hand and they're wearing a glove, it's kind of weird. But if you shake someone's hand and it's wet, then it's weird and awkward. So if you tell them why, then they're like kind of aware that you're anticipating, and thinking about them and what would be, less uncomfortable for them. And the gloves do help me, like make it so that I can function, hold the steering wheel without. But, it just feels gross. But I have to carry them with me all the time. Sometimes I don't need them, but then when I do, I gotta have them. And if I don't have them, then I gotta go buy some. Oh, I missed some stuff. Leah said, I have quite a few tattoos. A back tattoo that says coexist with the symbols. Yes, like the old bumper sticker. We don't need to discuss it, LOL. In my OFC, my memorial for Uncle AJ, a dragonfly. Yeah, that's, it's cool. No judgment from me. I'm the last person to judge on tattoos. The first one I ever got, I thought was so cool, and then I later realized was like such a mistake that I had to get a whole sleeve over here to cover it up. BFS, kind of lost, which is two hands, pinky promising, but one is a skeleton hand, and it says Soul Sister, and a blue rose on the right foot, Vinny Vinny VC, on the left ankle, stars and hearts on the knee. Well, that sounds nice. They're like spread out.
You gotta throw the flag. That's a real momentum killer,
Right?
Commercial.
Or you could also say, roughing the
Kicker. What is this, jujitsu? Am I right? The tradition.
Skip. Mandy says, I love your tattoos. Even the coexist tells a beautiful story. Such a nice thing to say. Crown on the finger. Every saint has a past, every sinner has a future. On my forearms. Wow, Leah, you do have a lot. Bird and cage on the front of my arms. I think that's it. Yes. Well, if you think of any more, I want to hear about them all. Saint has a past and sinners have a future. So that's 9. Shaking a wet hand is the same energy as stepping in a puddle with socks on. Yes, it's not pleasant. I just wasn't sure how to deal with it for a long time. Like, what do you even do? Because just didn't know what the options were. Over my heart, my mom's initials, breast cancer survivor ribbon, and her cancer-free date. Yes. I like that you use your tattoos like mementos, things that you're reminding yourself of. Well, I guess. Work in progress. I want to get my baby's footprints and birthdays on my right shoulder because if you know the story of losing my BFF, that's the whole thing kind of brought me together with Ryan, her cousin. Whoa! Wow. I mean, I'm not a superstitious person, but that seems like there was a greater power involved there. Water. Oops. Turn this one in reverse. You said I'm a nervous sweater. And sweater period. It's not fun in the humidity of the Tennessee summer. Oh, yes. Because it gets hot there and humid. Wendy and I are going down into the humidity tomorrow. Headed to Costa Rica. Probably my favorite named city. I don't know why, but I just love the name Liberia. I think it sounds really cool. Not been to Liberia, but I have been to Costa Rica before. Anybody else ever been to Costa Rica? Mia said, sometime I'll tell the story in a short on my channel. Oh, I'd love that. Josh, is actually quite touching because I'm never supposed to be able to have children. Whoa!
Make the switch to TurboTax Do-It-Yourself.
Leah, thank you for sharing that.
18th.
That must have been so hard. Lost 3. That's something I can't even comprehend. The challenge and the loss. You have an iron spirit. That's it. I'm never going to complain about anything ever again. Never gone through something hard as that. I realize that's not true. I am gonna complain. But I do want to recognize that my problems are nothing in comparison to that. Isn't a baby. And he said, and I love this, as heartbreaking as it is, I love the story of your healing and loss. So inspiring. feels heavy too. Leah said, "Thank you, Mandy. I hope maybe telling that story of my mom maybe could give people hope through their own time of loss. It's hard, but God can heal our hearts." Yeah, Leah, I mean, if you have the courage to tell that story, I think so much of the world that we see on social media is like the best parts of people's lives. I feel like it would really resonate to like get a truth, because our lives aren't great all the time, and genuine tragedy happens. And I think for people who are going through it, I guess two things. One, like if you had the perspective of like what Leah has gone through compared to your own experience, you might be like, okay, all right, this is not so bad. But then if it is, comparable, like just to know that somebody else is on the other side of it and can speak about it, and it's like emerged, It's not like it's gotten any easier. This time has filled in some other voids. Remember when my wife first told me about her brother dying, she was on a trip. I think she was in London, Paris maybe. And her brother died, and she told me the story, and she said, at first the grief is so overwhelming, all you can do is just like take one single breath. And it always stuck with me because she's like, and then you just take one more breath, and that's all you can do. And that's just how your life goes on. It's like one breath at a time until you just don't notice a breath, and then you go like back to noticing it again. But then like time fills those gaps in, and it's like been a day, and it's been like another day, and it's been a week and a month, and you just keep breathing, and that's all you can do. And so throughout my life, I've always kept that with me, since you told me that story when I was in my 20s. So when I've gone through tough times, it just kind of turn into that. And it's like, I don't have to fix everything. I don't need to solve this problem. I just need to keep breathing. And it has helped me tremendously. Yeah, and give people hope through their own time of loss. And that is such a kind way to look at your experience.
Big ideas don't come easy. But when you get one, use that moment of clarity to create a new reality.
Lots of commercials here. Mandy said today is the type of day where she feels so grateful to be alive. Yeah. Mandy's a big fan of matcha. I am almost like scared to say this, but I've never had it. I need to go get one. Mandy, is there a like a Starbucks matcha that I could try that you'd recommend, or do I need to go excuse me, get a certain kind of drink? I'd love to try it. Just wasn't not exactly sure what to get. Iced matchas. Yeah. Trimming up some mugs. Once I finish here, then I'll just go right into extruding the handles and then attaching them. Got a movie queued up that I'm going to watch called Quick Change. If anybody else is looking for some homework, it was recommended to me yesterday by a dear friend. And so I'm going to watch that. And I noticed that it was a free movie to watch on Amazon. So if you have Amazon Prime, want to watch a movie recommended that I haven't seen, it's called Quick Change. I think I'll use this short one here. Mandy said, I got an iced matcha at a local 7 Brew, which is a coffee shop. The customer is amazing. I like the Chick-fil-A customer service. I love Chick-fil-A. This past weekend and have been craving them since. Okay. She said, iced matcha. Mandy, if I go into this coffee shop and say that I want an iced matcha, is that all I need to say? I mean, aside from like the size? Or are there, I don't know, certain flavors or different kinds of matcha, different intensities? I don't know. I don't want to go in there and get the wrong thing. I want to get the Mandy approved matcha drink. Anybody else? Matcha? What are your thoughts? What kind of coffee do you drink? Yes. You're an optimist, Leah. You said her ramen is better after it burned her. Yeah, what kind of coffee do you drink? Or what's your morning drink? One of my closest friends, Charles, he has English breakfast tea. And he was here last weekend. I was trying to get him the right breakfast, and I foolishly went and I got Irish breakfast. Not the same. But next time he's here, you know I'm going to get some English breakfast. Our morning drinks are so important. Coincidentally, today was the first day I haven't had a cup of coffee in years. Just wanted to feel what it was like to not have coffee. What would happen? As a kid, I remember reading a book about it. I don't remember what it was about, but one of the scenes is that the mom, like they're so poor they can't afford coffee. And the mom is like trying to go off of it, and she was like bedridden because of it. I don't know what book it was, but you know, years later with a terrible memory, that sticks out to me. So it's kind of like just curious, like what's going to happen. Hopefully I won't. I mean, I feel fine. I don't feel any different. In the story, one of the neighbors has pity on her, and they bring some coffee grounds over, and she drinks it, can get out of bed. Leah said, you might want to go for a sweet flavored one. I don't know a lot about matcha, but it can be a lot if you've never had it before. Great tip. I'm going to get a sweet one. And he said, do you prefer cold or hot drink? You can have it both ways. I prefer my drinks cold. The matcha itself has a sort of nutty flavor, and I ask to put it in oat milk for my milk and add in vanilla syrup. So it doesn't have any overwhelming or grassy, earthy flavor. The oat milk gives a wonderful creamy texture, and also love oat milk in my iced London frog teas. Never heard of that. For the same effect. Yes, love iced. I like hot too, but I'm gonna go with your recommendation. And I'm a big fan of oat milk, so I'm gonna get it just like that. Just like that. You said oat milk and add in vanilla syrup. Iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla syrup. Mm. Yeah, I love trying new things. I'll try it and then I'll give you my review. Mandy's matcha. Mandy's matcha drink review. Hot talk and goss. Yeah, I'm like braced for it. I tend to have like an addictive personality. So sort of became aware that I was drinking too much coffee and kind of like build up to just stopping. Gearing up, I guess, is the right word in my mind. You will. Leah said, yes, caffeine is quite addictive. You can have withdrawals, headaches, and fatigue, all sorts of stuff. So if you just say iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla, perfect. That's from Mandy. Iced matcha. Let me read that again. Iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla. You gotta write things down or you'll forget. Got my sticky notes. Right, meow. My favorite pencil. Ticonderoga. I don't know why. Just love them. Forgot already. Iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla. Iced matcha with oat milk and shot vanilla. That's the homework drink of the day. Iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla. for London fogs. For London fogs, it's Earl Grey tea. The tea itself has citrus and lavender notes. It can be strong depending on who makes it. The oat milk makes it a more rounded flavor, less harsh if you're sensitive. One of my favorite drinks. Well, I happen to already have my sticky notes out. London fog with oat milk. Y'all are really improving my drink game. I just go into Starbucks or whatever coffee shop and just get a black coffee. Now I'm going to get something that actually tastes delicious. Starbucks coffee is too intense. Burned. I've seen people tap center, never acquired the skill. You just like time it as it spins around and hit it onto the center. I can't do it. That's my next assignment. Can do. London fog. I have a feeling I'm going to have an opportunity to try them in like the next 2 days. But around here, if it's on a sticky note, it will be done. Still haven't watched The Prestige, but that's coming up. I've actually been kind of caught up on this show, or catching up on this show called Silo on Apple TV. Anybody else seen Silo? Lisa said, my favorite coffee is super simple. Black Silk by Folgers. And I like peppermint mocha creamer because I'm a basic white girl. Some half and half. Yum. That does sound kind of like a milkshake. Yum. Yeah, what's your coffee drink? Oh, Book of Eli. Have I seen just so many clips on the internet, on YouTube, that I haven't actually seen the movie? I got my sticky notes, my movie sticky notes right here. I've got Field of Dreams, Revenge of the Nerds, The Lighthouse, The Impossible, which I saw. Thank you, Mandy. Punch Drunk Love. Definitely, maybe. The Prestige, Quick Change, and now Book of Eli. From Leah. That's when I know I've been watching too many shorts. And I am not sure if I've seen a movie or not because I've seen so many shorts about it. dent in it. It's thin. Gosh, is going to be flooded out of his own house by post-its. Yes, they are everywhere. But I work through them, so they don't really pile up so much. They're stuck to about every single place where I need to remember something. Book of Eli was up there with Fight Club as far as having a twist in it I didn't expect. Ooh, yeah, Fight Club, holy cow, that one. That one has the ultimate twist. Mm-hmm. Picture the first Harry Potter when the letters come in, but it's post-its. Yes, yes. That's precise when they're bashing down the door from all the owls. Yeah, I use them for everything. What? Oh, hey, 15. Dude, so good, man. How are you doing today? Probably sore from that workout last night. I was reading just a little bit about what you were saying you were doing. It sounded brutal. It sounded like my arms would fall right off if I tried that. Heck yeah, man. You know, my neighbor has a gym in his garage, just right next door. And so the other day he was saying like, hey, you want to come over and do some workouts? And I'm into it. I really want to. The one thing is that he works nights. So the workout would start at 5 a.m. because that's when he gets home from work. I usually get up pretty early, but that's real early. But I don't want to miss out on the chance. Working out is so much easier if you do it with somebody else. 15 said absolutely brutal, but how else am I going to be jacked? Stewie? Dude, bro, how are you going to be jacked, Stewie? You got to just hit that iron. Got to get pumped. Jacked Stewie. Yes. Good? Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. 15 said, I'd say hit it once. Even if you like it, keep doing it. Yeah, definitely get not wanting to hit it in the morning though. I always work out in the evenings. Yeah, I know you like get home from work and then do it right then. Do you go out to the gym or do you have something set up in your house? Oh, hey dudes. Leah was talking about that last night on this One City stream, that she ordered some Hey Dudes, which I think are like a subsidiary, or we learned was subsidiary of Converse. Is that right? Was it Converse? She said she got some pink sparkly ones. Cool. My shoes, I go to REI's website and they have a used section. There's like REI outlet, but then they have like REI returned used. I know I don't know if this is gross or not, but I just buy like hiking shoes from their website. And they're so cheap. So whenever they have my size, I just buy 3 or 4 pairs. Because I'm super hard on them. You know, they're always getting doused in clay, and maybe I shuffle my feet too much when I walk, but they just get ground down. So I used to wear tennis shoes at work, but they get worn out too fast. 15 said, I have some weights at the house, but I need to start getting to the gym because there's so much more I can do there. Yeah, especially because you're like a pretty high level athlete. You're not just messing around with some ankle weights. You're hitting iron, big weights, big workouts. Last night we just went to a gym in the city we're working in before the ride home. Yeah. So you work out with some buddies from work? That'd be super nice. Really want to see these pink Hey Dudes. Are you putting them on your kids right now, Leah? Hey, come over here. Put these shoes on. Put these shoes on, you little rascal. Fifteen said, yeah, he's kind of a big boy. He's been on the gym life for years, if not decades now. He's actually an athlete, but I'm flattered you say I am. I mean, if he's a big boy, is he? And you work in an industry where dudes, you know, he comes in handy. If you're strong, big shoulders, big delts, big lats, it's like making your job better, easier. Strong back. Got those 20-inch arms.
Hey, you.
Yeah, I want to see the pics. The Hey Dudes. "15 said, yeah, there's been some moments when I've had to have him lift something up for me." That's motivating to get back in there and like, "Hey, bud, can you lift this?" And he's like, "No problem." Nice guy to have around, though. Yeah, 15, we were talking about our morning drinks. Do you drink coffee or just hitting the protein shake in the morning? I met a kid recently who drinks Celsius. He says that I couldn't handle it. It's too strong. And I tend to believe people when they tell me it's too strong for me. Celsius. Protein and creatine. Yeah. Well, you're on your way then. If you're looking at that closely at your intake and protein and using supplements like creatine to help. Inspires me. I need to look more closely at my health, my physical fitness. My fitness has always come as like a fringe benefit from the sports I was doing. And so now that I'm not competing in sports, I find my way to physical fitness. And surprisingly enough, sitting on the pottery wheel all day is not helping with my fitness. Yeah. Well, if somebody's going to the grocery store, Mandy, and they'll pick stuff up for you, it's always good to send them with a list. $15 doesn't need a list. Just go to the steak aisle, find the biggest steaks you can find, and bring home. Yeah, caloric deficit and a lot of protein. That's a pro move. Yeah, I raced bicycles for 10 years, so I was always real skinny from doing that. I quit doing that and putting on the LBs. Not on my mind. Start dealing with. Oh. Email pics. Let's check them out. Ben? How do I do this?
dreamed of owning an apartment complex and you live near one of these cities, then you've got to see the same ad that I saw 3 years ago. It was for a master class that came to my area. I now own 11 apartment complexes, 1,963 doors under management.
I'm gonna get these photos. I've never done this before, so I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, image right there. Got him. See what happens. Whoa. There they are. That's called Hey Dudes. It's cute. I do like the pink. 15 said cycling is some tough stuff, man. For real. I took a class in college and man did that older lady make me burn. She'd be like, okay class, let's turn the resistance up a half turn. Meanwhile, I'm dying and turning it down to quarter. LOL. She put me in my place. Yeah, I think those spin classes are no joke. They are so freaking hard. Just the suffering. And yeah, cycling was a time of my life that I look back on fondly. I remember one series during COVID, we were just like putting in base miles. And so there was one day or one series of days where I did 100 miles every day for 10 days. And it's just amazing how your world can get into like such a singular focus where you're just doing one thing. I would get up, ride my bike for 6 or 7 hours, and then come home, eat, and basically be in bed the rest of the day. Because then the next day, just get up, do it again, ride another 100 miles. I'm glad I did that, but I wouldn't do it again. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was wild. But they, during COVID, all the racing stopped. So there wasn't a lot we could do. But even better, right back from COVID and got into a race, crashed my bike, and that was it. Yes. Yeah, they are awfully tiny shoes, hey, Mandy? Guilt buy. That's the first time I've heard that. Guilt buying. But when you grow up poor, you make a priority to never let your kids think they are, even if we teeter pretty close. They are so cute. I think my mom did a lot of that. Just wanted to make sure we never felt that way. Anybody have any weekend plans? Anything going on? Heading to Disneyland? Something outrageous? Like I said, Wendy and I are gonna be gone for a couple weeks. Still might find a way to post something. Doesn't seem like it often, but there is more to my life than just pottery. Okay. Thanks. I mean, I like looking at them. Yeah, you're right. I totally forgot about them. Yeah. 15. 15's over here. 15's over there. It's paying the bills. Something I look forward to doing. It'll happen. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Leah. I can always count on Leah. Telling me if the music's too loud. Telling me if my camera didn't turn on. Where would I be? I'd be here alone in the dark. Without Leah. Getting them gains. Oh yeah, 15 this weekend, hitting the gym with his bro. It's amazing how much more. I mean, wouldn't you agree that there's just so much more you can do when you have that motivation of somebody else there helping and watching and like encouraging and putting the pressure on? Looks like we got 4 to go. Yikes. Real thick.
With the help of Zero's small business accounting software, I've got the right information at my fingertips.
So business is a breeze. And I've got bigger plans.
We need producer Nick. Fifteen said, gotta keep hitting dumbbells. My left side stabilizer is nearly as good as my right side. Remember, I was listening to Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, and he narrates it himself. And he's talking about, like observing your body like the scientific process. Like just being aware of the symmetry of your body and like tailoring your workouts to address those things. And that's kind of sounds like what you're doing. 15, you're like aware and then making adjustments to balance things out. Aw. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be of value. Well, you are a valued member of this community. I would say essential. Essential member. 15 said, yeah, my bro could honestly be an actual trainer, so it's really nice of him to take me under his wing and help me out. So nice to have a partner. The best fitness I've ever had came when I had just one single training partner, but that was committed as much as me. And we would go and, you know, tear each other's legs off. In fact, my like Goldilocks year of bike racing happened after I met a guy who we just hung out like 3 times a week, and we would ride and train and then race on the weekends. And we did that all winter, and I came out to the road racing season in the spring, and I had more fitness than I knew what to do with. I won the first 7 races in a row or something like that. It was real sweet. Yeah, 3 to go. We got 22 future mugs. 22 cups right now. Add some, this is too wet. Yeah, 15 said, yeah, we love Arnold. There's a clip where he's teaching smaller guy how to pose. It's a really funny and wholesome clip. I wonder if I've seen that one. Used to watch a lot of motivational videos when I was racing bikes, try to stay in the right headspace. I like that movie, Pumping Iron, with Arnold. That's a pretty good movie. Mandy said, finally fully back. Had you in my ear the whole time. Thank you. Not sure what our weekend plans are. I know that I'm going on my first walk back after a year with Ollie. Well, that sounds wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit more? Who's Ollie? And why was it a year ago? If you're comfortable sharing.
What's your credit card debt balance? If it's $10,000 or more,
I
here
hear
are 3
you,
easy
commercials.
solutions you can start implementing today. And number
Mandy said, so glad to be here too. The Pottery family lives up to the name. A family, genuine people who know how to be themselves and make new people feel they can too, no matter who you are. If there is a theme to this experience, that's gotta be it. That we like give each other permission to be ourselves. And that we're good enough. I don't know, kind of like what Leah's tattoo. It's like sinners all have a past. No, sinners all have a future and saints all have a past. Like we all have that. We've all made mistakes, done things. And we're just here. We're here together in that way, just like trying to be our most authentic selves. And that is the best version of myself. When I like, I'm not trying to like please other people. I am just being my actual self. And I am 46 years old, and I have been trying to please people my whole freaking life. Unfortunately. I read this book, I think it was 3 years ago now, but it's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And that concept has always stuck with me. It's like when you try so hard to impress other people, like it backfires. It's like you're not being genuine because you're just doing what you're doing for other people. And when you stop caring so much about what other people think and start asking yourself, what do I actually think? And maybe more than that, it's like you give yourself permission to have an opinion, irrespective of what popular political, like the political voice of the day might be. Like you decide for yourself, like, what do I think about this? And that's such a freeing moment for me, because I have a lot of very liberal friends. And one thing I've noticed when we talk about politics is that it's impossible for people to talk about politics, like have a conversation. It's like one person usually dominates the conversation, is trying to explain to the other people why they are stupid or why they are wrong. You know what I mean? Mandy said, Ollie's my beautiful corgi. Used to go on walks with him all the time, every day. But the colder months came around and my motivation went, nope. I can understand that. And my habit was diminished. It's very easy for me to fall into lazy rhythms and habits. I love being lazy. Reason why I've gotten this way with my body, an unhealthy relationship with food. I can freaking relate to that. It's like some people have a sweet tooth and I have like all sweet tooths. Now, last year I was like 160 pounds. This year I'm like 180. I'm not getting gains like 15. Get the wrong kind of gains. So yeah, I gotta do something different. Leah said, well, I get depressed in the winter. Depression comes with no motivation, constant fatigue, which is not the same as laziness. Yeah, we are good enough.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, you know, to check
How
your
did
score
Allstate
saying first
steal this
before
commercial
saying.
from Geico? I don't understand that. Thieves. Leah said, yes, politics usually delves into personal attacks, which is sad. You can't just discuss policy, Lord forbid, how to improve things, not just, pardon my French, bitch about the current state, LOL. Yes. Yeah, you know, I was in a conversation the other day with somebody and I was not voicing my opinion because I knew that would be way too much. I simply said, can you acknowledge the existence of good people who have a divergent opinion from your own? Like, that was it. I just said, are there good people who have a different opinion from you? It was such a challenge for the people at the dinner table to even accept that there would be people who had a different opinion who were good people. And I think that's a perfect example of what you're talking about, Leah. It's like it's hard to just have a conversation. Like we would all, a lot of people now would like fail high school debate class, you know, because not only do we not know the other side of the argument, like we deny its like right to exist. Mandy said, same, Lee. I got that spicy seasonal depression, like Joel was talking about. My brain looks forward to the holiday all year, and then once it's over, my brain is like, well, is that it? We must become depressed now. Yeah. You know, when we live in Washington, people even use these things, they're called mood lights. And they're like a broad spectrum light. So like this Ring camera here, it would be like set up, but it has more lights. Because it gets so dark up there that people get a depression from being in the dark so much. So they have like seasonal mood lighting. And it just comes on like all day, sits on your desk. "15 said, we're all on a journey. Part of me not drinking and trying to eat better, which kicked this all off, was seeing 220 on a scale. My normal is 180. Dude, I can relate to that. I had to quit drinking as well. Just kind of picked up a habit during COVID. And so I quit June 14th, 2023. And I haven't drank anything since. Didn't really plan to just like quit forever, but I want to break my streak. Let's see how long I can go. Excuse me. Mandy said, I'm so proud of you for taking matters into your own hands and doing better for you. 15. So inspiring. Yes, it is inspiring. 15 inspires me as well. You know, hearing about, well, that's my stool. Hearing about the workouts, you know, just like plants a little seed in your mind. Like, not going to do anything about it right away, but definitely like thinking about it for the future. And Leah said, yes, Josh, there can be good people with different opinions. Even people we love, respect, and agree with on 90% of other things we discuss, and their opinion is valid too. But when people start pushing their opinions into others, that's where the problem starts. My freedom doesn't end where your feelings begin. Ooh, I'm gonna use that. My freedom doesn't end where your feelings begin. Yes. I'm more of a libertarian than anything, LOL. I'm not sure what libertarian actually means. In the name, liberty. I don't know what that, I'll have to do some looking into that. Okay, 1, 2, go. "15 said, I appreciate it, y'all. I don't think I should be all that inspiring. I still have plenty of vices that are unaddressed, but I'm getting there one day." That's just it, right? I mean, we're all there. And it's not as inspiring to just see the finished product because you can't like view the journey. But seeing you struggle with it, and it's like join you on the journey in some ways. Now, maybe I'm not gonna be Jack Stewie, but talking to you about it and hearing about your workouts, you know, it's gonna inspire me maybe to, you know, like try some yoga or freaking, I don't know, just I don't know what's gonna happen, but I do know that just being around you in this way is motivating me. I haven't done anything about it yet, but it's on my mind. Mandy said, my dad has that light. Dad is diagnosed depression, but is now managed thanks to medication. But doesn't get out like he did because of no interest. Also because of disability. Yeah, the light I've heard really helps some people. I say whatever it takes. Leah said, well, 15, one at a time. Doing away with any is still an improvement. No doubt. Anything is an improvement, right? The biggest challenge I think I have is just is giving in to not doing anything. I could just sit on my phone and watch YouTube shorts when I should be doing things that I'm avoiding. Typically, internet work, you know, like computer work. Get that off the most. Mandy said, got his levels checked out with the doctor. Came out his vitamin D levels were low. Who knew? Huh. Lee said, well, LOL. It was basically the belief that our personal liberties should always be number one. Oh, this is about libertarian. The belief that our personal beliefs should always be number one. First, put very simply, some people take it too far, in my opinion, like everything else, but I identify with it. Oh, sure. Yeah, there's always going to be the cultish belief, you know, whatever you're into. Pottery cult. Mia said, also, that's one of the civil rights lawyer's quotes here on YouTube. He says it at the end of his videos. I'll always give credit where it's due, if I remember where I heard it. Anyway, LOL. Yeah, right. It's like, hey, I remember hearing this somewhere, but I can't remember who said it or where it was. Thank you, Mandy. 15 said, libertarians are like less government, more power to the people. I personally never met a leftist libertarian, and so it seems to be a smidge right wing for me, but results may vary between person. Yeah, I love a prescription is go outside more. Vitamin D. 15, good explanation. Yes, basically government only as far as it serves the people, not to steal from and exploit them as they do now, LOL. That's right, definitely more right-wing or conservative. Yeah, I really to the right wing now more than ever. So yeah. Well, what can I say? I have really enjoyed our time together once again. For me, next, I am going to extrude some handles. I don't have the studio set up so that I can show that part. It's just right there, but take some finagling. So, but I'm going to sit around and watch a movie. What movie? Quick Change with Bill Murray. And that'll probably take me 2 or 3 hours to put handles on all these. But I want to give a big shout out to 15. Thank you for being here. Mandy, Leah, as always, or maybe future moderator, quality control expert. I'm super grateful. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks. We're going down to Costa Rica. And so I won't be here making pottery, but I hope to put together some videos. Maybe share with you what's going on down there. And I hope wherever you end up, that you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Not too much work. Walking the dog. Corgis are so cute. Oh, I missed some things. Mandy said, no matter which way your pendulum swings, everyone has the right to have their own beliefs. But what I don't like, especially with very important leaders for our planet, have the agree with me or off to the chopping block with you, which I greatly dislike. Me too. And 15 said, depression is real in my opinion, Mandy. I won't tell you what to do about it because I'm no professional, but I will say getting prescribed SSRIs was one of the best things in my life for panic attacks. Ah, gosh, thank you for sharing that, 15. Sure. Is that serotonin reuptake inhibitor? Is that what that stands for? Leah said, thanks, Leah. I tried to be as based as possible. And Leah said, yeah, Mandy, I agree they can escalate matters sometimes unnecessarily. Then again, I do think there's something to be said if other countries think we're weak. So it is difficult, totally. Ditto, I'm taking some Lexapro. It's changed my life for anxiety. You're an ace, 15. Mandy, love to all. Can't wait to hear about your trip. Opinions on the movie and the drinks. Yep, I got the drinks right here. If you're curious, the two homework drinks are, the first one is iced matcha with oat milk and a shot of vanilla, and the second one is a London Fog with oat milk. And I know that Leah said that she drinks a Folgers, and then it's like a black satin or something. I can't remember what she said. Yeah, that would be great. OFC. Josh, I'll do an unboxing in the near future. Oh, that'll be great. I would love to experience any kind of, like brand. What do you call that? Not produce, promote. Any kind of brand promotion from the likes of you. That'd be great. For sure, 15 said, for sure I'm a year off of Prozac, but I haven't had a panic attack, so I think it's really helped me make long-term changes in me. But as always, consult a doctor. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Black silk. That is what it was called. Black silk. It's strong. Silk. Black silk is amazing. You also, Leah, this is from 15. Mandy, Goods, I enjoyed as always. I'm looking forward to catching you guys in the next one. Yeah, thanks a lot. And see you all soon. I'll keep you posted on the trip. And then I made this outro, so I'll switch over to it. But catch you all soon.